Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario. That is my dog, Lily, over here. Lily dog, come here. There you go. I'm not even looking at the preview here. Just there we go. And welcome to the 50,000 subscriber Q&A video, or the Lily Exposed video here, where we end up finding out what the hell this dog is. This is a question I've been asked multiple times, and the answer I've given is she was labeled as a shepherd mix, meaning the shelter didn't know what the hell she was. Well, if you remember from the video where I was thanking you all for this, I end up saying that I grabbed one of these things, which is a Wisdom Panel 3.0 DNA test. Had to get some cheek swabbers, swab the inside of her mouth, and send it off to their lab. And guess what? We got the results. So let's go ahead and see what that's going to be. That way, this will be kind of more close to the beginning of the video, and whenever anyone asks me what kind of dog this is, I could just point them to this video. So if you get your report, if you decide to do something like this, this is what you get at first. You get this ancestry right here, and as you can see, she is mostly a mixed breed group, meaning that right now this test only goes back 3 generations. So there's some type of mixed stuff in there that is more than 3 generations that we can't properly deduce. But aside from that, she is mostly, as you can see here, a quarter Chow Chow. She's also 12.5% Border Collie, 12.5% Cocker Spaniel, and 12.5% Rottweiler, which means pretty much everyone I've talked to, including people in the comment section, people I've talked to in the reel, and even things that I've said, have been wrong about this dog here. A lot of people are saying she was not a shepherd mix. She could be Australian, she could be part husky, she could be something else. It's been fun because I've had people say, oh, that dog is definitely part husky. But look, she's not, unless she has husky DNA in her that's older than 3 generations, but she's mostly Chow Chow out of anything that we can directly find out. Let's break this down further. So as you can see, there's Lily, and that's what her parents were, and that's what their parents were, and that's what their parents were, and yeah. There was a lot. She's definitely an ultra mega mutt. I've kind of told one of my friends too. I said that she's a mutt, and he told me, well, I could have told you that. And I said, no. I don't think you realize she is a mega mutt. Just look at this. So this is what she's supposed to look like here. She's 25% Chow Chow. I don't see it at all. I guess it's more in her behaviors here, which I almost feel like these things, yeah, the behaviors could be correct, but it's also kind of like fortune cookies where they just give you something general. Reputation as a loyal family dog, reserved and wary with strangers, independent spirit, but responds to reward-based obedience training. And yeah, no, I mean, some of that describes her pretty well. A little bit of all of these breeds describes her pretty well. As you can see, Border Collie, I guess I can see that. Very intelligent, obedient, active, energetic, and watchful dogs, eager to learn and respond well to reward-based training. Enjoy activities including agility, flyball, herding, retrieving, frisbee, rally, and competitive obedience. That's not really her. Cocker Spaniel, again, some that looks absolutely nothing like my dog, but intelligent, playful, happy, and usually friendly dogs, with some being very energetic. Seem to enjoy dog sports such as hunting, tracking. She does not do the dog sport thing. Respond well to reward-based training using treats or favorite toys. Now, I mean, that's been accurate with her, but let's see the next one here. Rottweiler. I guess this is where her markings would primarily come from, and here it's calm, intelligent, and hardworking dogs. Rottweilers enjoy dog sports such as agility, tracking, herding, and obedience. Because they are sensitive, they respond best to reward-based training using treats or favorite toys. So there, those are the direct breeds that we can figure out from Lily that are 3 generations or younger. Now this is the best breakdown it has for a mixed component or mixed breed group of some kind. So it says here that, you know, she has parts of the herding group, parts of the Asian group here. They give, you know, some examples of each one. So she could be possibly husky, like a great husky of some kind, a sporting group, and Middle East and African group. So again, just a ultra mega mutt. Here we go, a further breakdown of the analysis here. So for Asian, they specifically found Chow Chow, of course. They specifically found Rottweiler out of the guarding territory. For herders, they specifically found Border Collie and some trace evidence. That'd be more from the mixed group. Middle Eastern African, trace evidence. And then sporting, definitely Cocker Spaniel, but some trace of other stuff as well, too. Thanks! Thank you, Lily. Thanks. That's the guarding tendency, I guess. So Lily's going to be barking in the background here, but let's get to the actual Q&A itself. Now, I did it a little bit differently where I decided to kind of actually go out and do some of the questions and show you all the things. So without further ado, let's get into the Q&A here. Enjoy. How long have the 360s been in the corner? Well, I was going to make up an answer of some kind, but I actually decided to do a little bit of sleuthing. I went back into my video catalog here, and from what I can tell, this video was uploaded, if I scroll down here, hold on, June of 2010, or that's at least when it was published. I uploaded this a few days prior. So, early June, late May of 2017, that's when the 360s showed up. That's the earliest documented footage I can find of these two systems. And this person also asked me how my New Year was. My New Year was pretty great, dude. I just really stayed inside with my girlfriend, we drank wine, and watched Shining. And we didn't finish it that night because I was super, super tired, so we ended up going to bed at like 1 in the morning. But hopefully your New Year was well. Like, it went well. All that stuff. Hopefully you had a good New Year, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe this year you might cover those poor 360s in the background from the dust. It's like seeing C-3PO without his shell. Nah, we're keeping him dirty. 2018. Most expensive or rare gaming console edition or dev hardware? Well, I'll be honest, there's kind of a lot of things being asked there, so out of that, I'm going to pick and show my rarest game console that I have. And with this, I had to think of the systems I had, look at the sales numbers, and I decided to pick this because logically, if I'm looking at sales numbers, this is the rarest system I own. The Sega Nomad, I looked it up. I apparently did not know about this, but it never got a European or a Japanese release, so it only came out in the US. And on top of that, it sold poorly. It sold roughly about 1 million units, which my next guess was going to be the Sega CD would be the rarest console or edition that I own. But the Sega CD actually sold a little more than 1 million units. It sold better than this thing, so Sega Nomad, this would be the rarest console in my collection. What console was it that started you off on modding? Well, you're seeing a PlayStation 2 right here, but I had the PS2 at the time, but it really technically was not the PS2. I will show you all right here. You guys will kind of get a 2-for-1. I'm going to show you specifically what got me into modding. So I have my disc in. Let's go ahead and launch this thing. I agree to these terms and conditions and proceed at my own risk, or I cannot in good conscience play this game. Well, I definitely can't play this game, so I'll press the circle button. Oh, damn it. Alright, I guess we can agree to these terms, so let me go ahead and press the X and square buttons right here. And this was the game right here we're finally in. I'm at least not going to play it, you know, one-handed, but this game, I really wanted to play it. In short, I don't remember how I found out about this. I think I was at my library, I found a forum about this, I found some reference to it online, and I looked it up, and I was fascinated, and I kept looking into it, found out the game was canceled, but it was leaked online, so it was an unreleased game that was somehow playable, and the way you got a hold of it, I mean, there were different ways of getting a hold of it, but at the time, it was super hard to get a hold of. Now, here's the game in demo mode. This is not me playing it, it's just, you know, going into its demo attract mode. But no, in short, I wanted to figure out how the hell I could play this game, how I could get my hands on it, all that other stuff. At one point, I actually tried to just copy and paste the files from a PlayStation game to a blank CD and burn it, and of course it didn't work. Then I found out about emulators, mod chips, swap disks, using a Game Shark as a possible swap disk, all that other stuff. I did not know how to solder. I was afraid of soldering. I didn't know anyone that could solder. I didn't know anyone that could mod systems, but I ended up getting a hold of a Breaker Pro, and I was able to play this game poorly because he had to swap the disc, and because the way the engine was set up in this game, it did not react very well to swaps, but nonetheless, I was still able to play it on original PlayStation hardware, and right now I'm playing on a PS2 just because this is easier to access. But this is the game right here, Thrill Kill for the PlayStation, and PlayStation, that's why. It was all because of this game right here. This game is what started everything. Thrill Kill. Thank you, Thrill Kill. What was your first computer or console? Well, my first computer, it was some type of compact. My first one that I actually got to keep to myself. I didn't share anything. It was a laptop of some kind. Really not even worth mentioning on here. That was technically my first one. My first console, though, I can't show you the exact first one I've owned because it's not in my apartment here. But I can boot it up and show you. I'll let it speak for itself. There we go. This was my very first game console I ever owned, the original Xbox. Now, as you can see, this thing is modded up. It's all ready to go. It has a bunch of games on it because I have upgraded the hard drive up there. So, what is my favorite game? Well, we'll just kill two birds with one stone here, and I'll show you what my favorite game is. This right here, this is my favorite game of all time, Grand Theft Auto 3. I absolutely love this game. I still love it if I play it. Like, if I start playing it now, I have to tear myself away from it. This is my save right here. Like, I finished up the game again. Near the end of 2017, I started playing the game just to test out my Xbox, and I kind of didn't stop. And then I finished it a few days later. So I have an absolute love for this game. I can't really play it too well with one hand, but my all-time favorite game, hands down, anytime, any day of the week. I don't know, I've played plenty of great games, but this is still my all-time favorite, man. This just still ranks as my all-time favorite. Out of all the games you played, which one do you think has the best soundtrack? Well, I've thought of a few. Probably the first one I thought of was, I can't really pick a Grand Theft Auto game specifically, but the Grand Theft Auto series always has a pretty solid soundtrack, although I felt like that was a little bit unfair because a lot of the Grand Theft Auto games don't really have a truly original soundtrack, I would say. They use up a lot of songs that have already been released and all that stuff, so I was trying to think of something original, like an actual original soundtrack. And I've thought of two games. I think it's kind of a toss-up between these two, and they're very different. One of them for me being Kingdom Hearts 2. Soundtrack was great on there, very emotional, absolutely loved it. It's just nostalgic, man. Other game, Metal Gear Solid. Love the soundtrack on there as well, too. These are both games where I have taken the songs individually and listened to them. A good mention as well, too, would actually probably be Silent Hill, which I do own the soundtracks for those. But I don't know, that's just not something I can listen to on a daily basis. There's only select tracks that I truly love. But these ones, oh no, man, it's great. Although if you're picking one just to actually listen through, probably Kingdom Hearts 2. I would lean more towards that. Do you have a car, and what is it? Well, yes, I do have a car, and it is a Hyundai Sonata. Nothing too crazy. I like it. It's a good car. It's just my old car, my Camry, ended up passing away, unfortunately. Or more, just got to the point where it was costing way too much to do repairs. So I ended up getting a new car here about a year or so ago. So, good car. I like it. Not crazy about cars though, but it satisfied me. What are some of your favorite YouTubers? Well, I actually decided to go through my subscription list and was shocked at how many people I am subscribed to, and on top of that, how many people I do not watch. But I went through from A to Z and picked out most of the channels that I really like. I didn't get all of them, but you know, I picked out a good amount here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this company, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, these two, these four, this guy, this girl, this guy, this fox, this guy, this guy, this guy, these two, this serviette, this guy, nothing nowhere. My god, I love nothing nowhere. Okay, I just had to have my little fanboy moment there. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, these two, this guy, and this guy. And that's, you know, those are a lot of the people that I would recommend. How did you get into Urbex, and do you plan to do any other Urbex videos? Well, the way I got into Urbex was at one point I was staying in an apartment for an internship, and a few blocks away from me there were several buildings, specifically houses just on a plot of land that were kind of decrepit and destroyed and, you know, were abandoned, so to speak. So what I did was I grabbed dinner. As I was coming back, I saw them. I finished my dinner and then just went out there with my camera, took a bunch of photos, took a few videos, you know, edited the videos into something cohesive, which I might show here. And that's what got me into it. I ended up putting some of the photos online, and one of my friends I know in the Rio ended up hitting me up, and he said, hey, you know, where are those buildings at? Where are those houses? If you want, I would, like, I didn't know you were interested in that, but I would totally be down to check those houses out with you. So we started checking out places like that and, you know, trying to be careful, but we had a lot of fun with it. Do I plan to make any other videos? Well, I've actually made several other Urbex videos. I've done, you know, photos, I've done videos. I've even edited a few of them. But will I release them? I don't know. I'm doing one right here, though, so you get like a little mini Urbex. This used to be a barcade. I actually have a video on this as well, too, but I don't know if I'm going to release it or not. We'll see. What is your favorite animated movie? Well, let's dig around for it. All right, got... Oh, oops, that fell completely. Here. There we go. Aqua Teen Hunger Force: movie film for theaters. This ranks as my favorite animated film. What do you think of Switch Homebrew, and do you think it might replace the 3DS as the best portable emulation machine? I think any homebrew support we get on the Switch would be fantastic. I think it's being handled quite well right now with ReSwitch and PegaSwitch and all that other fun stuff. At the moment, there still hasn't been anything 100% revealed by Team Executor. I know we have a mod chip in the works while I'm recording this. There's solderless and solder versions, and allegedly it works on all system versions, all system firmwares, so we will see what's up with that. While as with other things, I know ReSwitch, for example, that's stuck on firmware 3.0, which that actually brings up another question here. Someone was also asking, do I plan on running Switch Homebrew, and do I think firmware 3.0 is too low of a firmware? Well, I do plan on running Switch Homebrew at one point. For me, don't worry about me, I'm not really affected by it, because I do have a second Switch that is on firmware 3.0. I'm more concerned with other people, like you in particular, if you don't have a 3.0 system and can't get a hold of one. So for the general public, it is going to be too low. If you really want to get one, you can, but you're going to have to shell out the extra money for it. Going back a little bit, talking about, you know, this being the best portable emulation machine, I didn't really rock with it too much for emulation, I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest emulator type person, but I don't know, I love the modding scene, love the hacking scene on the 3DS, but admittedly didn't play mine as much as I really would have thought of. If I'm gonna go with a portable emulation machine, I'd probably pick a PSP. I need to get a newer one, but this is my original 1000, so this is still my favorite emulation machine that's portable to me. Although, if you also do want the best emulation station that's going to be portable, just get a laptop. Just get a good laptop and you'll be okay. Has there been a time where you attempted to mod a console and were not successful? Absolutely, there has been multiple times. I actually wanted to cite this one in particular right here. Not really this bag. This bag is cool as hell. My girlfriend got this for me for Christmas. But this thing right here, not this specific model or console, not this specific one, but the PlayStation 1 in general. Specifically, this model, the fat PlayStation, I have the worst luck with this. Like, other modifications like GameCube mod chips or Xbox 360 glitch chips or any other things, thanks, Lily. There's been a multitude of other consoles and exploits that I've been able to execute with no issue, but with the PlayStation, specifically the fat one, I have about a 50% success rate with these. These things are so touchy to me for some reason. I don't know why. Funny thing is, though, I talked with someone on my Discord server about this same issue, and he had the exact same thing. He even said, specifically the fat PlayStation, not the PS1, the slim one, the fat PlayStation. He has the worst luck with soldering mod chips into them for whatever reason. Also, I don't know if this really counts here. This is a original Xbox that I had modified. This one kind of hurt because this is the latest one I worked on. But in short, ended up losing power, started working on replacing the caps on it, kind of fudged up with that a little bit, but even so, I looked into it, found out it could be another issue. It's not the power supply, but it is motherboard related, so... What is one thing in life you regret doing or wish you would have done? For one regret, I guess it's going to be a little bit, you know, it's going to be more monetary-wise, but I wish I would have gotten into... Okay. I regret not getting into Bitcoin really early on. See, when I knew about Bitcoin, I heard about it from friends when it was still pretty worthless, because I had a few friends that were buying things off of the Silk Road, the original Silk Road. And in my logic, I was just like, well, I'm not going to put any money into this fake, imaginary, criminal, dirty currency because I'm not going to be buying any drugs because I'm clean, so why should I do this? And of course we know where Bitcoin is at now at this point. Even so, with people saying, oh, it keeps crashing all the time, I mean, again, this is when a Bitcoin was worth maybe a few dollars at best, so... As for something I wish I would have done, so I went to college for management information systems, that's what I graduated in, but I originally went in for computer science. I didn't know that much about computer science, didn't know what it was going to entail. I did not realize that not only I didn't feel like I had a talent for it, but I had no love for it either. I wish I would have switched out of that sooner. That could have saved my GPA and could have saved me a lot of headache, but you know what, at the same time, life is not supposed to be easy. You're supposed to have those struggles, so I can at least tell you all about that, and I did learn from it quite a bit. But that's something I can tell you all. If there is a major where you just have absolutely no love for it and it is killing you on the inside slowly, you might want to think about other options. I'm not saying to give up, but if you're truly trying as hard as you can and you're not getting the results and thinking about it makes you miserable, think about something else. Top 5 TV shows, anime or animated and not animated. So for animated TV shows, I couldn't decide 1 through 5, so these are going to be in no particular order, but I did narrow it down to 5 in each category. For animated shows, I'd have to say Ed, Edd n Eddy, South Park, Elfen Lied, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and BoJack Horseman. For non-animated shows, I would go with Atlanta, Wilfred, the American version, technically, not the Australian version. I still need to see that. Mr. Robot, Silicon Valley, and Breaking Bad. What is your favorite console to mod, new or old, in 2017 or 2018? You know what, for that, I'd have to say, thinking back on all the stuff I modded last year and kind of the beginning of this year, I've had the most fun with the original Xbox, not gonna lie on this. I absolutely love this system, and I've actually kind of, I missed out on the heyday of the original Xbox. I did soft mod my original 1.0 system, but even to this day, I've never cracked it open. Which is kind of terrifying because I definitely know that leaky capacitor is probably leaking all over the place on that system. So whenever I get to my parents' house, I am going to have to rip that thing open and just pull the capacitor out of there and clean it up. But point is, on this, I have had fun working on these systems. I worked on, just basic, getting a soft mod up and going, and then trying to swap out the hard drive. But then I found out that there's actually a easier way you can do it, where if you know how to solder, you can T-Stop flash the system if you have a compatible system, which is just a console that is old enough. Once you T-Stop flash it, then you can upgrade the hard drive with ease. You can also then go to a SATA drive pretty easily as well too, up to 2 terabytes. As you can see, this one I've done a few customizations on it as well too, just a few. But yeah, no, I'd have to say, funny enough, probably the original Xbox is my favorite. Also, I just love the evolution of it, where you go from a basic games console that can, play DVDs as long as you have that DVD player dongle, to fleshing it out to be a really kick-ass, robust multimedia console that goes up to 2 terabytes, of course, and can house, a ton of games and a really solid library. In fact, it still looks pretty good as well, too. 480p signal out of this looks great, and it goes up to 1080i, but I'd rather play at 720p. So, yeah. Original Xbox, that's been my favorite to mod in recent times. When did you start gaming? I started my gaming career, so to speak, with the original Xbox. Ended up getting one on launch, or very close to launch, and I was 8 at the time? So yeah, 8. Hey Lily, come here. And finally, the last question on here. Why the hat? Which I feel like it's appropriate that I'm wearing this. So, I think I've talked about this before, I probably made a video too, but I want to go into the most detail over why these hats started coming onto the channel here and why I started wearing them. So, I know a lot of people ask if I actually wear them out in public. Yes, I do actually. If you follow me on social media and you ever see me take pictures when I'm outside or whatever, I still wear these. They're really warm, they're comfortable. Not so much the Fox hat because it's actually pretty tight, so I'm more just use this for videos now. But in college, I wore them everywhere, and now even after college, I'll still wear them probably half the time outside, especially now because it's cold, so half the time during the winter time, I'm wearing them. It all started out when years ago, I was with a friend, we were hanging out, and we found some hats over at Hastings that were like this. I saw some Mordecai and Rigby hats from the show, Regular Show, and I decided to try them out. So we were wearing these hats, I thought they were pretty nice, but they were expensive. They were about $20, $25 or so. I did look them up on Amazon though, and they were a bit cheaper, so I decided to order them, and I started wearing them in my videos here, and people liked them. And I was also wearing them out, to class and everything, because it was cold. They made people smile, they made people laugh. It was something to point me out as well too. I'm not one of those people that's craving attention, but at the same time, it's just, I like being able to make people smile from that, so that's always a positive. So this led to the beginning of the hat collection, but I decided to get something else. I believe the third hat I got was this hat right here, the fox hat. Why did I get this? Because I love foxes. I think they are adorable, awesome animals, and I'm not a furry, so a lot of people try and draw that correlation. I'm not. I know about the furry fandom, I understand it, it's not for me, man. It's just, not for me, but I love foxes. So I picked up this hat, I started wearing it. This actually became my primary go-to hat. Nowadays it's more Pikachu, but this became my go-to hat to wear around. And then I started also wearing it in videos as well too, and people liked it, and people enjoyed it. And yeah, I get people that make fun of the hat, but here's the thing. For every one person that makes fun of me for wearing a hat, there's 10 or 15 people who compliment the hat. So I think it's a more positive thing. And in fact, at one point, the reason why I still wear these is because I got to talk with someone from YouTube. I did have a YouTube contact briefly where when my channel was really on the upswing a few years ago, I ended up getting contacted and I was able to have a 30-minute conversation with someone, and he was giving me some pointers over branding and what I could do to help promote the channel and kind of build a brand and all that other stuff. And one of the things he mentioned was the hats. He laughed about it and he said, you know what, I love those hats, and what you should do is you should keep wearing those hats. And I asked him why. And he said, because I started watching your videos and I noticed you were wearing these hats, and I was laughing about it, but I was watching all these videos and you had different hats, so now it's kind of a thing where whenever you release a video, I want to see what hat you're wearing if you show up in there, and that's something that you should associate with yourself and with your brand on here, so keep at that. And I took that to heart, and I did that on the channel here, so that's why in almost every video you see of me right here where I'm showing my face, I'm wearing a hat, because of that branding. And to anybody that doubts that, I've also had several videos, this is from years ago, where people would start watching my videos and they'd kind of start binge watching, and I knew this because they were commenting on a lot of different videos, and then they would run into one or two videos where I showed my face and I wasn't wearing a hat, and they were disappointed. They were just like, oh, what, you're not wearing a hat, or why no hat this time? They would get disappointed by that fact, so no, it's part of the channel personality now. And that is why I wear the hat, and that is the end of the 50,000 subscriber Q&A. I'm sorry this is late. I have you all to blame though, and that is a very good reason. You see, I knew that this was going to come out later, but like sometime after me getting 50,000 subscribers, but I thought it might have come out when I had, I don't know, 51,000 subscribers. I didn't think the channel was going to explode again, have another growth spurt. So thank you so much for that. So whatever the number is right now, yes, I am aware this is late. I wasn't expecting that rapid channel growth at the beginning of 2018, but I have you all to thank for that. I have you all to thank for the continued viewership, any of the past viewership, and any viewership that we're going to have here and going forward. Thank you for sticking around. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. For anybody who's been here for a hot minute, thank you so much for being around here. Thank you for checking out this video, and thank you for contributing. So, it's been awesome. It's been great. Let's see if we can do this again at one point. Anyways, this Mr. Mario is signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Let's get into some regular content.